The Steve Marston Show continues, where faith and fun are both taken seriously. We're glad that you're joining us and love for you to check out our YouTube page where you can see everything we've got there, all the conversations that we've had with the individuals over the last few weeks, as well as full episodes and so much more. It's all new. We would love for you to kind of kick the tires on it, click around, and of course, like and subscribe. YouTube.com/Steve Marston Show. It's time to welcome in our special guest, and he's a guy that's been on the show from time to time. He is the director of PluggedIn.com, which is a ministry of focus on the family. It's Paul Asay. Hey, buddy, welcome back.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Steve. This is always great to talk with you.
Well, I'm glad that you're making some time for us today because we always like to talk about all the things that are coming out entertainment-wise. You guys do such an amazing job over at Plugged In of just providing information. And that's kind of what your whole aim and foundation is, just to let everybody know what the content is of all, not only movies, but books and video games and music and streaming and everything that's entertainment. So we're glad to be able to talk to you about it. And you and I were just chatting off the air, talking about how after Spider-Man came out in the big release and it's making a gazillion dollars, this is kind of a quiet week at the box office.
Yeah, it's almost like Hollywood just took a big, deep breath and exhaled.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow, we are done with that. So, yeah, there have been a lot of afterthoughts sort of rolling into theaters the last couple of weeks. We have a big one next week that we've actually seen. That's Coyote versus Acme, which I know a lot of people will be excited about. But for now, the pickings are a little bit slim, especially for family-friendly stuff.
Yeah.
Probably the best bet we've got here is the Magic Faraway Tree, which is a PG movie that is in fairly limited release. If you're in a small town, chances are you won't necessarily be able to see it. But it does have some nice messages. It features a pretty strong cast. Claire Foy, who some people might remember from The Crown, is in it. She stars alongside Andrew Garfield, who's been nominated for 2 Oscars. They are parents of kids, and this is an issue that is near and dear to Plugged In's heart. Their kids are a little bit screen obsessed.
Oh, yeah.
They spend way too much time on screens. And so they decide to make a quantum change in their lifestyle. They move out into the country to raise tomatoes. But as they sort of start that process along, the kids get an invitation from some magical creature inviting them to the Faraway Tree. This Faraway Tree is magic, of course, and it becomes a portal to a whole bunch of other lands. This PG movie has obviously a lot of magical elements. It's right there in the title. A lot of people may be disturbed by some of the spirituality, the quasi-spirituality that we see.
Yeah.
The kids actually have to chant, "I believe in magic" 3 times, which I think will rub a lot of parents the wrong way. But at the same time, it has some great messages. As we said, that idea of taking screen time seriously is near and dear to our heart. It's also great to see such a strong family and such a strong marriage that's sort of the head of that family. The Claire and Andrew's characters, they love each other, and that love only grows stronger as the movie goes along. And that's really encouraging to see.
Well, I bet it is because, isn't it sad to think that, strong marriages and good fatherly and motherly role models in movies aren't there anymore? But I guess it's a reflection of society. That's what they would say, because it's not happening in society. It's not happening in the movies. But you're right. That's a breath of fresh air for sure. Before we move on, Paul, let's talk a little bit about, we gave last week the breakdown, the review of Spider-Man, but I want to talk to you about just your personal view of it. let me just ask you, how many times have you seen it?
You know what? I got to be honest with you. I haven't seen it at all.
Oh, no. You're like the only person in America.
I'm the only person in America, and I cover all these superhero movies.
Right? I know. Man.
I feel you have called me out, and I feel like I'm derelict in my duties now, and I feel terrible.
Well, listen, and the reason I was bringing it up to you is because so many of the Marvel movies that we've seen in the past, I think, are too inside baseball. They have so much references to people and characters that if you're not just one of those people that nerd out over it, you don't really know about them. Because I sit there and I'm watching, I'm confused, and I have to ask my 12-year-old, hey, what's this? What's up? Because they get it, they understand it. But I got to tell you, you need to go see Spider-Man because it's a great standalone movie. I thought it was perfectly well done. You didn't have to be a Marvel insider to catch all the references and to know it was. They told the story that, if you missed the first couple of movies, they kind of caught you up as to why the things are happening now based on that. But I thought it was such a well done movie. It was, I got to tell you, one of the best movies I've seen in such a long time. It was no any kind of questionable stuff. It was just a good old fashioned storytelling of a movie, and I just loved it. I thought it was great.
See, I think that's so nice to hear. I think that I haven't seen the latest Spider-Man, but I've seen the previous 3 starring Tom Holland, and I really do think that they've done a really remarkable job with that franchise. Spider-Man is one of the best-known superheroes on the face of the earth, and they treated his franchise really well with this series. And yeah, I think that in terms of kind of those Marvel movies, they tend to be a little bit more friendly to folks who are just being introduced to this world. They do serve really strong standalone stories, which is what, the Marvel Cinematic Universe did way back.
Yeah, at the original, right. That's right.
Right.
Paul Asay is our guest here on the Steve Marston Show. He is the director of PluggedIn.com. And if you bookmark websites, which I'm sure you do, you've got to bookmark this because they are your entertainment source. They're not going to tell you what to think or, hey, you should not go see this. But what they do is just give you all the information and let you decide. And it is, I'm telling you, let's focus on the family. So it's incredibly well done. And Paul is the director, and he joins us here on the Steve Marston Show. But more than movies, you guys do all things entertainment. And I know one of the things that a lot of people are looking forward to, especially girls of a certain age, is Ariana Grande. She just released a brand new album called Pedal, and you guys have a breakdown of that.
Yeah, we do. And I tell you what, the album has sold well. I think I saw some stat that it has sold more than 10 times the copies of its nearest competitor on the music chart. So that Pedal is getting a lot of listens. It doesn't hurt that Grande has been in the news so much lately. She announced that she's stepping away from the public eye in part because of the scrutiny that has been paid to her weight. Mm-hmm. But she's still making a ton of money from Pedal, and she delivers some interesting messages in that album. And I got to tell you, the messages aren't necessarily that great. Yeah. It's an angry album. It really takes even her fans to task. She is when she speaks, she talks about how much she loves her fans. Pedal gives a little bit of a different message in a lot of ways. It is profane. It has references to drug use. It definitely talks about a lot of one-night stands, if you will. These are issues that I think, especially because Grande really appeals to, as you say, girls of a certain age. That's something that parents need to be aware of. The content that is on this album is not necessarily, kid or even teen friendly.
Yeah, and we don't live in Kansas anymore. It used to be you would have these child stars that your kids grew up with, and then they would make a pop album or something, and it was just regular singing about normal type things, and it just isn't that way anymore. Because and Ariana Grande holds a little place in my family's heart because my kids grew up watching Victorious, and I would tell my kids I was watching the show with them, and I found entertainment in the show. And I kept telling them, I said, look, they have missed the boat on this. The redheaded girl, she's the star. She's the one that's got the voice. It's the first time I've ever been right in calling something like that. But my kids all give me credit for saying, yeah, Dad got that one right. Ariana Grande was the breakout star there. But anyway, we're talking with Paul Asay. He is from Plugged In, and we're just reviewing some of the stuff that's online, and not only online, but in theaters and stuff too that you might be consuming. And when you talk about some of the things from these child stars, the franchise that is maybe the most known is Camp Rock, and it is coming back. Camp Rock 3 is on the horizon.
Camp Rock 3 is actually playing on Disney Plus right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I tell you what, when we talk about it, it is a great segue because, Ariana Grande, she was one of those starlets that came up through Nickelodeon, actually. But Disney has long been this factory for these up-and-coming singer-actors that have just sort of exploded on the scene. And if you can think way, way, way back to the original Camp Rock, it launched really the careers of a couple of really important acts, and that was Demi Lovato and the Jonas Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Demi played this girl named Mitchie, who sort of got into a relationship with the character named Shane Gray, who was played by Joe Jonas. That sort of really put them both on the map. I think the Jonas Brothers were pretty popular before then, but it brought them up another level. Now everybody's back. The Jonas Brothers make an appearance. We do have a little cameo from Demi Lovato herself, but we're dealing with a new group of kids, another talented group of kids who want to sing and dance and act their way to stardom. Camp Rock is this place that in the fictional world that it's set in has launched so many careers, and everybody who goes pretty much wants to be a star, or they just love music. And the main focal point is someone who loves stardom more than almost anything else. Her name is Sage. She finds that her love of stardom is getting in the way of some of her relationships, which is a nice message as far as it goes. For families, Camp Rock 3, it is pretty clean. You won't find very much problematic content. This is as innocuous as the show can get. You don't even really have any strong language to speak of. There's no violence. Two characters almost kiss, but they're prevented from doing so. But I do think that sometimes these stories, especially stories that come from Disney, they really sort of the worldview is almost something that we need to pay more attention to than the actual content issues. Because the worldview, it does tend to elevate this idea of stardom. It elevates this idea of pursue your dreams regardless of what other people say. And there's a place for that. There's a context for that. But I think it needs to be shaped really for parents, because if you take those messages to extreme, they can make they can push in a much more selfish direction, a much more me-serving direction. And as Christians, we're not supposed to be about me. We're supposed to be about God. We're supposed to be about other people. So those messages within context, they can be managed, but it really takes, I think, a parental hand to help guide kids through those messages.
See, I think that's such an excellent point, because, again, with the original kind of Camp Rock, when my daughter especially was watching it and singing all the songs at the top of her lungs and playing it all through the house, we didn't have to really worry so much about that. But over those, 25 years it's been or whatever, or maybe not that long, maybe 10 or 15 years, it's changed. You're right. That's such a good point. Paul Asay is our guest here on the Steve Marston Show. He's from PluggedIn.com, a ministry of focus on the family. So in our remaining couple of minutes here, let's talk a little bit about what's at the website, including those tutorials and the blogs and everything you guys have got. That's just more kind of ammunition for parents to be able to make better decisions.
Yeah, you bet. We really do, as you say, we really do try to help parents walk through these bewildering worlds of entertainment and technology. So because of that, we review lots of movies. That's probably what we're best known for. But we review TV shows, music, video video games, YouTube channels, books. We have reviews for all of that. We also do a lot of talking about technology and social media and screen time. Those are worlds that I think that sometimes parents feel like their kids know better than they do. And so we try to give parents the tools that they need to help lead their kids, guide their kids through that bewildering world. And let me tell you, there's one area that I would love to point people to, and that is Plugged In's Tech Guide. We have a tech guide that's actually meant for parents. It's called Parents Guide to Technology. We do this every year. This year's edition is 125 pages worth of really fantastic information of what parents need to know to help their kids walk through issues of screen time, social media, and technology. And it's totally free. So you can go to the website pluggedin.com and download that for free. Just look right below the main picture there. You'll see a place to click. That is a great resource, I think, for parents just to help them navigate through this bewildering world.
That is so great. I didn't know that you guys were doing that, but especially 125 pages. I know how important it is to you guys, and that just kind of shows it. So, yeah, I definitely recommend going and finding that. So you just go to the pluggedin.com and in the search engine type what is it we're looking for?
You bet. And you can go directly to it if you wanted to go to just pluggedin.com/tech guide. That'll take you right to where you need to go, and you'll be able to download it right from there. And even though it's 125 pages, hopefully our team wrote them in such a way that they're really easily digestible. Lots of practical information, just some practical tools to help moms and dads deal with social media, screen time, and technology in their lives.
I love to say it as information overload in the best way possible, because that's really what you guys do. I'm serious. That really is what you guys do. And I'm so thankful that Focus on the Family saw the need for doing this and put you guys in place, because it really is a great and wonderful resource for all of us as parents trying to, like you say, navigate these waters that are getting harder and harder to do so throughout as time goes on. Paul, thanks so much for your time, and have a wonderful weekend, my friend.
You too, Steve. Thank you so much.